Feminine energy, or as many would call it, the yin, right? This energy is within all of us. It's even in nature, it's all around us. And for you to reach fulfillment, as well as I would say achievement, you need to find the balance between your feminine and your masculine energy. But today's episode is all about feminine energy. Welcome to the ultimate guide to feminine energy. In this ultimate guide to your feminine energy, or to the feminine energy, I'm going to share with us, first of all, what this energy is, what it means, but then also how you can increase it. So if you feel like in your life you don't have enough feminine magnetism, and again, I want to make sure that you understand before the end of this episode that these are energies that we all have within us. We all have these energies within us, and you need to find the balance in order to, again, find achievement, create fulfillment in your life. So you must understand this to start off, right? But if you want to increase your feminine energy because you feel like you don't have, maybe you feel closed off to your emotions, maybe you feel like you are not very creative, maybe you feel like you are not connected, you can connect well with others, well, that would mean that you need to increase your feminine energy. And I'm going to share with you what are some ways that you can use in order to achieve this. As I said at the start of this video, feminine energy is something that we all have within us, right? Some people have more of it, some people have less of it. It's also something that exists all around us in nature. I believe that if we look at nature, we can really see this feminine energy, right? They say that feminine energy is about receiving, and they say that masculine energy is about giving. They say that feminine energy is dark, and they say that masculine energy is light. They say that feminine energy is water, and that masculine energy is fire. So there are these, how can I say, these descriptions of what feminine energy is and what it means and how you can integrate it in your life. I believe that the first way to really achieve fulfillment and achievement in life is through the balance between the feminine and masculine. But I actually also believe, and let me know in the comments if you would like for me to do a video on it, that it's also to find the different elements within you. I believe that the Earth, planet Earth, is a simple representation and kind of like, it's like we are the metaphors of Earth, right? So the same way that on Earth, there is, of course, the element of Earth, there's the element of water, there's the element of fire, and there's the element of air. We also hold within us these elements. So if, let's say, you are missing structure in your life, perhaps, or stability even, perhaps you are missing some earth inside of you, right? If you feel like you don't have enough emotion, like things are not flowing enough in your life, perhaps you're missing water. If you feel like you don't have enough passion and momentum and drive, perhaps you're missing fire. And if you feel like there is not enough creativity or connection with the source, perhaps you're missing air. But again, if you want, I will do another video on this topic. But the first way to really find balance in your life and inside of you is by balancing, the masculine and feminine. So the feminine would be the first attribute of you, the first part of you, the first side of you that you would like to find balance in. The symptoms that you will feel if you are not connected with your feminine energy will first be more, if I can say, external symptoms, meaning that maybe you feel like you are closed off to your emotions, right? So maybe you have a lot of trouble connecting to your emotions, showing your emotions, speaking about your emotion. Another symptom that your feminine energy is blocked would be that perhaps you are not very creative. Right? Maybe you're someone who's always in the go of things. You always want to take action, but then when it comes to creativity, you don't really have the ideas that come with it, right? You don't feel very creative. You don't take the time to develop things. Maybe that would mean that you don't have enough feminine energy. Another symptom that you are missing, another like external symptom that you're missing feminine energy, would be that you feel disconnected from everything that is feminine. right? So maybe you feel like you judge, you criticize, or you kind of feel repulsed by things that are feminine. So maybe you don't have like female friends in your life because you feel like women are not, good company to be around. Maybe you feel like, it sounds very, very basic, right? But maybe you feel like colors that are more pastel, such as pink and things like that, you feel like that's, you don't like that. You like black, and you like silver and gold, and you like these like kind of more strong colors, and you don't really like that. Maybe also, if your feminine energy is not very present in your life, you have a lot of issues in your relationships, right? So you have issues in your immediate relationships, so romantic relationships with your family. You feel very closed off. So these are some of the many symptoms that you don't feel that you're not in your feminine energy, but you will know it. And the reality is that if you're watching this video, perhaps it's because you feel like you don't have enough feminine energy, right? And you want to work on it, because you know it when you feel disconnected with that feminine energy, whether you're a man or a woman. Now, there's other symptoms that with time, I do believe start manifesting inside of you, more than outside. I believe that in time, when especially when a woman is disconnected with her feminine energy, she will start to feel physical symptoms. I believe that the reason why there's such a high rate today of feminine illnesses and sicknesses. So a lot of women suffer when it comes to their period. Every single month they have a lot of trouble with their hormones and their menstruation, and they feel deep pains, when they have their menstruation. Other women, there's more than ever before, women with breast cancer or with cysts in their ovaries, and I believe, and a lot of people that are in this field also believe and connect, that because for such a long time you kind of neglect your feminine energy, everything that is feminine, everything that is on the womanly side of things, these symptoms will start manifesting in your life. A sign of a toxic feminine energy would also be if people take advantage of you. There's a lot of, you also have to be careful with that. If you have too much of an energy, such as too much feminine energy, maybe you're too soft. Maybe you're too sweet. Maybe you're too understanding. Maybe you are too sympathetic, and empathetic. So that makes others take advantage of you, which is not good at all, right? So this is where balance is so important. So these are just a few of the symptoms that you will feel if you are disconnected from your feminine energy. As I said, if you are watching, this video, at the end of the day, it is probably because you feel like you need to work a little more on your feminine energy. The feminine energy has a lot to do with your intuition as well. So if you feel like you're not taking the right decisions, if you feel like you are disconnected from the source, you don't really believe in anything that is bigger than yourself, perhaps there's also a disconnect. I believe that when you are very connected with your feminine energy, you will start to get into the metaphysical side of the world, of this human experience. You will start to understand more of the spiritual side of things. You will start to get more connected with the spiritual realm. It's like the masculine energy is the body and the feminine energy is the spirit, right? And so when you connect with your feminine energy, you start to be connected and to understand more of your intuitive gifts. Right? Now, let me share with you what are 6 very simple yet powerful steps that you can take in order to connect with your feminine energy and to increase it in your life, whether you're a man or a woman. In case you didn't know, it is back to school season here at A.V.A. Enterprises. On September 9th, 2025, we will be starting the 3.0 versions to all of our programs. Here at A.V.A. Enterprises, we have 15 online courses, all of them organized in this pyramid. This is called the A.V.A. Pyramid, the 9 levels of personal and professional development. And depending on where you find yourself on your journey of development, of growth, you can find whatever it is that you need, depending on which stage you're at. Let's say the first stage, so the first level of this pyramid, it's called awareness. This is when you suddenly realize that, maybe there's more to life for me. Maybe I can do more, maybe I can be more, maybe I can have more. So if you find yourself at this first stage, the perfect program online course for you to grow and to get to the next level would be the Rise. Then once you rise from this level and you go to level 2, that would be change. So this is where you start to change your habits, change your life, change your environment. And of course, the 2 programs that are here are change your life and organize your life. And it goes on like that. These are the 9 levels where you can, situate yourself and say, okay, this is where I'm at. So this is what I need in order to get to the next level, because that's what life is about. It's about growing. It's about elevating yourself and always reaching a higher level. Now, school will be back in session on September 9th. And what we decided to do is that this month we have a mega exclusive, never seen before discount that is up to 80% off on all of these programs. But of course, this is only for now, for this back to school season. So if you want to sign up to our programs, you can simply go in the description below this video, click on the link, explore, discover, see where you're at, and join us for this back to school season. So step number 1 that you need to really take a note of is all about creativity. We are very creative when we are children. Remember in kindergarten, in the first few years of school, we had a lot of creative homeworks to do. We had a lot of creative projects to do, right? And then with time, we got more into the masculine energy of things. Once we started high school, then even worse in college, university, it was more on the masculine energy side of things. But when we're children, we're very creative. We use our imagination a lot. We have fun with things. And that's what creativity is all about. Creativity is very connected with pleasure. So ask yourself, when is the last time that you have been creative? When is the last time that you have created something that you didn't create it for a result? It's one thing to be creative for a result, for an end result, because you have to do this work or this job at your work or something. And it's another thing to just be creative because you feel like being creative, right? So I would say find a hobby that allows you to be creative. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to be more creative in my business, or I'm going to be more creative at work. No, that's creativity for result. And that's not the kind of creativity we want. We want creativity for fun and pleasure. Okay, so find something that you can be creative in. Perhaps you can take a painting class, or maybe you can take a sculpting class, or maybe even a dancing class. Try to find a hobby that will allow you to get into your creativity. Another little advice that I have for you is that as women, and that's going to be one of the other points, we're very connected with our feminine cycles and with the moon as well, okay? And so one of the best times for you to be creative is during ovulation time. So now talking about creativity when it comes to projects and ideas and work and business, try to work on your creativity for those things when you are in ovulation. Why? Because when you're in ovulation, you have the power to create life within you. Therefore, you are more powerful when it comes to creating whatever it is that you want to create. The second step is rest. Rest and recharge. Rest and recharge. With years and with time, I have learned the importance of this. When I first started this journey in my business and everything, I was very young and I really believed in the hustle culture, side of things, right? That you just had no sleep and work and do this and do that. And I did that for the first few years, and that really disconnected me from my feminine energy, and it didn't work. Also, I wasn't having the results that I wanted in my professional life or in my personal life, right? And that's when I started to get more into feminine energy. And I would say that over the past few years, now that I'm 35 years old, I have really, really not reconnected, but I have really let and allowed myself to rest and recharge a lot. You know how they say beauty sleep? That's not a coincidence. When you sleep, your body recharges. People who don't sleep a lot will age faster. That's a fact, that's not just saying that. So people who don't sleep a lot age faster. So if you want not only to look young and beautiful for as many years as you want, but also if you want to be more connected to your feminine energy, rest and recharge. Prioritize sleep, prioritize rest, prioritize recharging. In a world that is so demanding and always telling you that you should do this and that, and you should put other people first, choose yourself and choose to rest and recharge more often. This will help you tremendously when it comes to your feminine energy, but really when it comes to everything in your life. The third thing that you have to do if you want to connect with your feminine energy is to connect with nature. Why do you think they call it Mother Nature? You know, feminine energy is very, very connected with nature. That's why if you, I'm sure right now, I'm sure go on Google and write feminine woman, right? Or feminine man, whatever. And you're gonna see someone in nature. You're gonna see someone in like a floral dress, running around barefoot on the grass, because it is very connected with nature. And again, very often in today's world where we are business women and where we are so busy and we live in big cities, we are completely disconnected from nature. We live in high-rise buildings where, you know, the earth is like 20 feet down from us, and we are never ever connected with nature. So it is very important, if you want to reconnect with your feminine energy, to try to spend more time in nature. Start with at least 1 day a month. 1 day a month on the weekends or whatever, go somewhere in nature. Go to the countryside. Go spend time with nature, with animals, with flowers and the earth and trees, hug trees, you know, do whatever you need to do, but reconnect with nature. That will help you tremendously when it comes to your feminine energy and to everything, even to your health. It is literally proven that if you spend more time in the countryside, your health will get better because everything is more natural, because the air is more pure, because you're more connected with nature. When I started to study feminine energy, one of the things that I loved the most and that I enjoyed learning about the most was our connection as women, especially for women, with the moon, right? That beautiful connection that we have with the moon. So there was a time in the story of humanity where years were not 12 months, but they were 13 months. And in every year there was 13 months, and each had 28 days, which is the cycle of the moon. From the first new moon to the next new moon, it is always 28 days. Now, what's very interesting about this is that women were very connected with that cycle. Why? Because our menstrual cycle is also 28 days. Right? And there was a time in the story of humanity, and there's plenty of evidence of this, where women used to menstruate with the new moon and ovulate with the full moon. And this was simply because in our brain, we have a gland that is called the pituitary gland. And this gland, when it is exposed to the most light at night, that's when it activates your hormones and makes you ovulate. Now, before electricity, when was it that there was the most light at night? You know, when people used to not live in big cities with electricity and buildings and cars, and they were just out in nature, besides the stars, when is there the most light at night? During the full moon, right? So women used to ovulate with the full moon, and they would menstruate with the new moon. That's how it was. That's how it had been for thousands of years before patriarchy started, right? So it's a beautiful connection that we have. I would even say it's a magical connection that we have with the moon, right? And I would say take the time to moon gaze. Take the time to know when it's the full moon, when it's the new moon. Follow the moon cycles. You will see, and I promise you, you will see how magically your menstrual cycle will sync with the moon. You'll see that soon enough, you'll start menstruating with the new moon and ovulating with the full moon. This will allow you to get connected with your feminine energy. Now, of course, this advice is only for women. As I said, men and women have feminine energy and masculine energy, but this one specifically is for the ladies. Nowadays on social media, we often hear about my morning routine, my night routine, my exercise routine, routine this, routine that, and all of that. And it's great. It's wonderful to have a good routine, you know, and to know what to do. But I believe that masculine energy is about routines. It's about schedule. It's about organizing. It's about structuring things. But feminine energy is about flow. And instead of routines, if you feel like you need to work more on your feminine energy, instead of routines, start implementing rituals. Start living a ritualistic life. There's nothing more beautiful, I can tell you that. Start creating rituals in your life. Maybe you can have, talking about the moon a few moments ago, you can have a full moon ritual. You can have a new moon ritual. You can have a first day of the month ritual. You can have a Sunday night ritual. You can have a Monday morning ritual. Create rituals. Rituals, contrary to routines, have meaning. They have feeling to it. They have flow. They have intuition also. And I want you to keep in mind that rituals are things that you create. There's no rules to them, right? There's no like a lot of people asking, what is your Sunday night ritual? What's your full moon ritual? That's something that you have to feel and that you have to create. That's how rituals are made, right? So start creating rituals in your life. Start living a ritualistic life. You know, the rituals that we know today, let's say when it's Easter, there are rituals that people do at church. When you go to church on Easter, that's a ritual that has been created. In Christmas, there's rituals too, right? A wedding is full of rituals. Baptisms are full of rituals, but that's something that people have created with time, right? So take the time to live a life that is more based on rituals than on routines. The next tip that I have for you for feminine energy is to spend time with femininity, and especially with feminine people, feminine women or feminine men. The more you surround yourself with what is feminine, with the feminine, the more it will impregnate in you, right? The more you will start to become more feminine. If your circle of friends is people that when you get together, you talk about, so how much did you make this month? Okay, so now this is the plan and this is the routine that we have. And oh, next month I have this flight to Paris and then London and I'm gonna do this and accomplish. It's wonderful. It's great to have a group of people that are motivated and like that. But you also wanna have people that you just get together and laugh and be more in the flow of things and be more feminine and enjoy the moments, not be such in a hurry, because that's what feminine energy is to enjoy things, pleasure, have fun, taste the moments, right? Taste things, see things, you know, spending even time with yourself. You know, I say spend time with femininity. So spending time sitting down at a restaurant, spending 3 hours sitting down with a glass of wine and just enjoying the moment, that is spending time with femininity, because femininity is just flow, it's relaxation, it's taking the time, it's not rushing into things. That's what femininity is, right? So start doing that. Start spending time with people, things, experiences, even places that have more of that soft feminine energy. Don't always be in a rush. Don't always be in places that are loud and rushed and kind of almost aggressive, you know. Be in soft places so that you can rest in your softness, in your femininity. And I have a little bonus tip for you that I want to share that I think is very important, is beauty. Feminine energy is all about beautiful things. Feminine energy is about beautiful flowers, beautiful arts, beautiful decor, beautiful places, beautiful presentations of plates, beautiful clothes, beautiful makeup, beautiful hair. Beauty. Beauty is feminine energy. It's magnetic. It's something that you look at and you're mesmerized by its beauty. So surround yourself with beauty. Make yourself beautiful. Make your space beautiful. Make your life beautiful. Beauty, if you want more feminine energy, you need to have beauty in your life, and you need to be okay with beauty. A lot of people that have a suppressed feminine energy, that are struggling with their feminine energy, they criticize beauty. You know, so they see a beautiful woman with a beautiful makeup and hair and clothes and like, look at her, such a tramp. You know, that's what, when you don't have feminine energy, when you're not connected with it, you feel attacked by beauty. You feel disgusted. You feel repulsed by beauty. But when you have a good connection with your feminine energy, beauty is something you admire. And it's something you want more of. It's something you want all around you, on you, everywhere, right? So make sure you surround yourself with beauty, that you are beautiful. You make yourself beautiful in order to have more feminine energy. So that is what I wanted to share with you today, your ultimate guide to feminine energy. I hope you enjoyed this episode. In the comment section, let me know which one of these tips are you going to work on the most. And let me know if maybe you would like for me to do a video on masculine energy, right? On the different tips that you can use to increase your masculine energy. Let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to share it with all your friends. And of course, to subscribe for new episodes every single week here on Alexandra TV. So that is it for today, and I will see you very soon.